I'm Alexa Schwerha with Campus Reform. Today I am very honored to be able to speak with Texas Senator Ted Cruz. We are talking freedom of speech, particularly how it pertains to college campuses. Senator, thank you so much for coming today.
Alexa, great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So can you talk about what Congress is doing to protect Americans' First Amendment rights?
Well, listen, Congress should be doing much more. Unfortunately, under Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, Congress is not doing a damn thing because today's Democratic Party wants to censor free speech. You know, there used to be a time when Democrats believed in free speech. There used to be a time when liberals would defend your right to dissent. And today's Democrat Party, it really is dismaying. They've abandoned that support for the First Amendment. And, you know, in 2014, I was fairly new to the Senate at the time, the Democrats introduced a constitutional amendment to repeal the free speech protections of the First Amendment. And I led the fight against it. I was the ranking member on the Constitution Subcommittee of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I led the fight against it. It went to the Senate floor. Previously, when Democrats had tried to repeal free speech protections, there were at least some Democrats with the courage to stand up against it. Ted Kennedy, lion of the left, voted against it when he was there, and he said, "We haven't amended the Bill of Rights in over 200 years. Now is no time to start." Well, in 2014, when these Democrats tried to do it, every single Democrat voted to repeal the free speech protections of the First Amendment. Today's Democrat Party doesn't believe you or I or anyone else has a right to speak.
Absolutely. And here at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, we report exclusively on the liberal bias on America's college campuses, and that largely includes policies that universities enact that restrict student speech. So what do you think that we can do to hold these college administrators accountable?
Well, listen, I think in red states where we have control of the legislature, those states ought to pass free speech codes to protect the rights of free speech of students in state universities. I think nationally, I believe we should be conditioning federal funds. I don't think a school should get a penny of federal funds if they are stifling and silencing and censoring their students and frustrating their free speech rights. I think there are lots of levers we can use, but the first step to using the federal levers is that we've got to win back Congress and the White House. And when we do that, I think defending free speech is front and center critical and should be at the top of our priorities.
Absolutely, and Campus Reform has reported that 80% of college students are afraid to speak out about their beliefs on college campuses. Why do you think that is, and what can be done to fix that?
Well, look, I think the atmosphere on campuses is stifling. And university administrators, they target, they punish, they do everything they can to create a culture of fear. You know, one of the things that I'm trying to do to counteract that, I do a podcast every week. It's called Verdict with Ted Cruz. We launched it 2.5 years ago. It became the #1 ranked podcast in the world. And we've been doing a college campus tour. So we've gone to college campuses all over the country, went to University of Wisconsin at Madison, we went to Catholic University, we went to Texas A&M, we went to University of Alabama, and we went to Yale. And you know, Yale, it was striking. Yale had not long before that screamed down a speaker, Kristen Wagner, who was speaking about a Supreme Court case she had won defending religious liberty, and the radicals had screamed her down. I didn't know how the Yaleys would react to my being there. We ended up having over 600 students come to the event. And you know what's amazing? I'd say a third to a half of the students were politically left of center, and yet they came anyway. And we had a 90-minute cordial civil discussion. One policy, most of it was Q&A, and we have a policy, if you've got a hostile question, come to the front of the line. Come on up. Ask your question. I don't just scream and yell and curse, but if you got a real substantive question, ask it. And it was interesting. Afterwards, I went and had drinks with an Orthodox rabbi that works on the campus. And the rabbi said that was the largest group of students at Yale that he had seen have a respectful, civil conversation about conservative ideas, he said, in 20 years. So there is a hunger among the students. It's the radicals in the faculty and the administration that are muzzling and silencing those students.
And my final question for you, what advice do you have for conservative college students that may be intimidated to speak up about their values on campus?
I would say be a happy warrior. Use your voice, But don't emulate the left. Don't be angry. Don't be shrill. Listen, the left wants to control you. They want to control what you think, what you say, what you believe, how you worship, every aspect of your life. They want you to be a soulless robot who obeys their orders, and many times their orders are put on 12 masks, stay at home, shut down your business, shut down your school, don't go to church. Like, they are the least fun-loving. I mean, they're a bunch of school marms. They're a bunch of ninnies and nannies, and don't respond in kind. Laugh at them. There's few things more disarming than just being a joyful, happy warrior, because what we care about, freedom is contagious, and people can see that, and people want to be free.
Senator, thank you for your time.
Thank you.